is all of those putters you guys have in your hands, it looks like, for the most part, have some sort of line or alignment aid on the back. Everyone see a line, or we got 2-ball putter, which is similar to a line. It's just a line of balls instead of just a line to point. Basically, I think one thing that all good putters do that is a imperative fundamental is that line is always pointing where they want that ball to start rolling. A very few putters that I see that the club face is consistently open or consistently closed, and they are consistently good putters. Usually, the reason they're good putters is because that club face is pointing where they want it to go, and if the club face points it where it needs to go, Justin, I think we talked about this on the driving range. If the club face is pointing one way, the ball is probably going to go that way the club face is pointing, right? That makes sense to everybody. And that's another way you can kind of analyze what you're doing, or if you're doing something wrong, is if you consistently are missing the ball to the right of the cup. Check to see if that club is pointing to the right of the cup. Because if it is, that's probably why you're missing it to the right of the cup. There's a little more to it than just the club face, but that's one of the big fundamentals that a preference of mine is. Make sure that stinking thing is pointing where we want it to roll. And don't get confused on where we want it to roll and the hole, because sometimes that's different. If there's any sort of break in the putt, we don't want the putter to be pointing towards the hole still. Because if we put it towards the hole and it's going to break, it's probably not going to go in. Makes sense, right? The other thing, besides just the club face part, is another issue we talked about on the driving range, which is we talked about the club face, and what was the other one? The path. Everyone know what the path represents, where that club is coming from. If another indicator, if the ball is consistently going right or consistently going left on the green, it could be because that club is either swinging inside and pushing it out to the right, or it's swinging outside and pulling it off to the left. So path and club face, just like we talked about on the driving range, also important pieces of the puzzle on the putting. One other thing that it's not really a path or a club face, but it's pretty imperative, I think, because putting is so precise, and everyone knows that the putter has loft on it. Does everyone know that, or is that news to anybody? It looks pretty darn straight up and down, but most putters have at least a little bit of loft on it. If it was straight up and down, the lie angle, whether that toe's up in the air or that heel's up in the air, the lie angle would be less significant if it was just a straight up and down. But since there's loft, if we have any sort of toe up in the air or heel up in the air, that loft's going to make that ball kind of want to start to do funky things, whether it's pushing it off to the right or pulling it off to the left. The reason I say this is because I've noticed you putt a couple times, and you tend to have your hands really low, and that putter heel is the only thing touching the ground. Based on what I've seen, not only on the driving range, how lie angle can affect it, it can also affect it on the putter. So that's another part of the puzzle that I would recommend that all of you guys, keep in the back of your head as you're moving forward in this lesson and on the golf course, is let's try to get that bottom of the club flat on the ground. Because I think if we can get that thing flat on the ground, we've got a lot better chance to putt it where we want it to go. Okay?